HTS4. It's, again, a game that was supposed to be happening tomorrow, but actually got rescheduled to today. So, nice little special surprise here, and a pretty entertaining game number 1 that we had. So, looking forward to seeing our second and final game and how it follows up here. I'm joined by Cat Lamine once again as my co-caster. So, here we go into our game number 2. We look at the initial bands: Wild, Soul Trembled, Parasite, and Sandwraith bands coming out. So Probosc wanted to ban the Parasite here. They first picked Midas. We do see Warbeast, however, coming out in response, and then now there's a Lodestone. So with the Parasite ban, it did open up the Warbeast eventually, and Zlapt is just fine picking that up, I'm sure. So we'll see how they work with it here.
Yeah. Warbeast was banned last game, so I wonder, like, they were actually the ones who played Parasite. Did they just ban it because, oh, we played it so terrible that we shouldn't pick it up? Like, well, I don't know what the deal is, but you see, actually, because Warbeast wasn't banned, as you said, it's first picked, so definitely a reason to ban it, I think. If teams really value it and they can play it, it's one of the scariest heroes in game. Whether you go it in the jungle or the suicide, or even short lane in some scenarios. Just getting a lot of farm on Warbeast is always a scary thing to face.
Yeah. Behemoth coming out with the third pick here following that Moira coming out for Sync. But, yeah, again, seeing it for Sync. I believe they usually like to run it with Slap 2 in that jungle, if I'm not mistaken. So, could assume that that's where it's going to be. But, again, it's definitely not guaranteed either. Ooh, they go Riptide as well. Top of this. So, Riptide with the glowing red hands from the battle cry, on top of it just being a dominating laner as well. That's got to be pretty scary.
He's gonna hit for like 3 times damage. Well, like, imagine if he gets a double damage as well. It's just gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's gonna be walking around one-shotting people. Gonna get like a 5-minute annihilation or something.
It's possible. It can happen.
Yeah, it's possible, definitely. But, okay, anyway, I think that Legion is kind of limiting themselves at the moment. Getting the Behemoth at this point, they already had the Lodestone. So for me, this really looks like this is going to be a second support Behemoth, and they're going to be doing some man-up shenanigans against this Hellborn team, which is not bad. I wouldn't say that's bad because they do have the Moira. Well, it's pretty weak to play Moira when you're getting man-up trial-end against, especially when you have the Warbeast as the jungler. There's really nothing you can do against stopping those ganks.
Yeah.
With those heroes.
Pretty good at that, so gonna have to.
To say the least, I didn't really like the Behemoth pick, if you couldn't tell. But yeah. that's a personal preference, I guess. Just think it limits them. It limits them.
It's odd to hear that though about Behemoth, because again, Behemoth really is considered like a very high A tier hero right now.
Yes,
on the scene,
and I agree with that, but they have the Lodestone as well,
yeah.
and the Midas, so that's probably your 2 solo lanes. So if you go Behemoth after, you kind of want to lane Behemoth as a suicide for the most part, at least. Second supporting, that's a personal preference, but I personally don't like Behemoth second supporting. So,
yeah.
And it looks like with them picking a third there, they're actually going to do that. So, yeah.
Well, so they pull it off here. We got the final ban to happen now for Sync. We got Puppet Master, Clanks, Doctor, Malik, and Hellbringer so far coming out. A lot of carries here, as both teams technically could still use some. Although Sync, I mean, they've already got the Warbeast. You know, they got Riptide is kind of an early carry, you could say. So I don't know if they're going to be going a really hard carry here with their final pick.
I think they might still. I mean, if there's a good carry that is like a strong counter to these Legion heroes, like say for example Legion had Dr. Repulsar, you would look into that Mageman, of course, or maybe then even the Dark Lady. So, yeah, we'll see about that. I actually have to be right back for 2 minutes. I have someone at the door. Be right back.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I think I even heard that. Anyways, Lord Self-4 is coming out here. Now, this is interesting because I'm looking at the Legion lineup over here. So, as he's talking about there, Behemoth is very likely going to be that secondary support. And so I'm thinking, okay, Lord Self-4's jungle, but then still, that doesn't make sense because what would they do? Like a Lodestone lane, a Lodestone solo with a Midas solo, and then a Behemoth farming carry, or is Behemoth just going to be the main support here? I mean, this is definitely turning out to be something. Now, I guess they could carry Lord South Forest, but that's usually not your everyday thing. They could do a support Midas, too. So there's a lot of really very curious questions here for Fresh's lineup now with the 4 heroes that they have. And this final one, I mean, even when it happens, I still feel like you're going to be a little confused as far as what the lineup is looking like. But they got a little bit of time here to decide it. Soul Stealer is the 4th pick for Sync Esports on the other side. Interesting carry option for them happening here. I wonder what the Soul Stealer logic is actually. I know Haxrin does have history of playing that from the past, and maybe it is a little bit of blast from the past coming out right here. But I think it also kind of goes back to, again, I know we were talking about that before we went on the break there, that Catlamine suggesting that they could still even go that hard carry. But to me, it feels like they got the Warbeast, they got Riptide, 2 heroes that are going to soak up a good amount of farm, especially that Warbeast. Soul Stealer is kind of that in-between. He's kind of the mid-game carrier. So they really kind of have all 3 phases taken care of. The Riptide early game, the Soul Stealer mid-game, and then the Warbeast late-game style here. You throw a Tempest on top of that as your jungle here, and overall pretty solid, actually. They got... now, Moira's Arcane Vortex got to be a little bit careful about when it comes to this AoE synergy, but at the same time, I think it could actually set up a pretty big Soul Stealer ultimate as well. So... That's going to be fun to look out for. Okay, so it sounds like you're back, Catlamine. The final pick, Silhouette here. So, even before that pick, though, I was going through all these. Okay, so what's going on here? So it looks like they are going to run the main support Midas, actually, is what it comes down to. They're going to carry with Silhouette here. South Forest is probably going to end up in the jungle. Okay, so, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but that's definitely not your everyday.
Midas is not too bad of a support because he's arguably very tanky in some scenarios. So trading hits with the enemy suicide is probably going to go in your favor for the most part since you have more health and pretty good damage. But I don't think that's going to matter because you're against the Warbeast that's just going to pull your waves anyway. So there's going to be no attacking going on. So that's where you could argue running a Midas support where you just need levels is good because you don't need to box out like the suicide because he's just going to be pulling anyway. So I don't know if they actually thought about that or not, but it might be something that will come into play. But yeah, this Midas definitely needs some levels early. He can't spend too much time running around, and he should look into having the pull open actually, which they haven't blocked yet. So that's good for them. He should be spending a lot of time on that pull.
So the Soul Stealer pickup on the other side for Sync. I was trying to make logic of that. I mean, it kind of gives something I came to is that, mentioning Riptide, somewhat of an early game presence. You got Warbeast for that hard carry late game. Soul Stealer is kind of that in between. You could say the mid game carry is what he could definitely kind of bring to the table. So is there a little bit of that? I mean, what do you think Soul Stealer logic was here?
I don't know why they got Soul Stealer, but I can see their combo being very deadly but hard to pull off because you're going to need an Arcane Vortex, and for that you probably need a Portal Key on Moira as well to be able to get a good Arcane Vortex. And then you're probably going to look to use that Elemental Void on top of the Arcane Vortex after everyone comes out, which is going to hit everyone in that Arcane Vortex. Then you're going to look for the, what is it called, Soul Burst? Yeah, Soul Burst on top of that. It's kind of hard to pull off, but if they manage, it's going to be insane. And they don't even need to pull that off. They're still going to be able to do lots of damage just because of the spells and slows they have already. I like the team makeup. Soldier is kind of weird in this kind of draft, but I can see why they would do it as well.
So the Lord South Forest to me as well was also a very intriguing pick here. Now, it's become more and more clear lately that Lord South Forest is kind of just becoming a solid hero in general. More teams are picking him up. But it seems like at the same time, one of the bigger reasons to pick him up is for that Undying and preventing the heals. Heroes like an Oogie, Wild Soul, those are the two big ones that come to mind. There's not really any of that here on the Hellborn side. There's not a whole lot of lifesteal presence that you're necessarily worried about. Is Lord South Forest still a good pick, you think?
I think it's good because it just ensures that whatever target you're going on, the life is not gonna come back through heals or anything else like Tempest Dash Relay, for example. So it's just gonna be like just gonna be good for your team to be able to just put the Undying on someone, make sure their life doesn't come back in any sort of way. So yeah, it's definitely a good pick, even if it doesn't hard counter anything. Also, doesn't really farm that fast in the jungle until he gets a few levels. So usually see him have a pretty slow start until he starts leveling up that Morse Certisma. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
Yeah, I think that was good.
okay. Yeah, and then you're gonna see him start spamming that, probably gonna buy a chalice and a bottle, and then that's gonna be skyrocketing in farm and gonna pick up some early items like maybe that tablet and a sheep stick. So yeah, it's definitely a good hero, but I don't know. Looking at their team, it seems to me like all of their heroes needs a lot of farm. So I don't know where all of their heroes are gonna get the farm. Maybe if they win a couple of team fights, so that's where you're gonna look for them for their success. I would think the early clashes.
Yeah. Yeah, again, with that silhouette pickup, definitely a greedy lineup, but like I say, it's no surprise for Fresh right here. That 4-1 strat, have distraction, I feel like it should really, as long as you're somewhat of an avid viewer here in the Hong competitive scene, then you know this by now. So that's to expect. The Striders are finished on Behemoth, so Slotsky looks like he's been able to get something up here at least, but of course, ultimately, not a whole lot working for him, only level 2 currently. Meanwhile, bottom lane, you see down here, we're beyond the tower. It's Midas versus Warbeast over here as far as the creep farm goes. This is a main support Midas, so it's a little interesting seeing this here. But he's just making do with the situation. You see Proboscis kind of sitting behind the tower. Like, I wish I could be there picking up some farm, but I guess it's a way to split it up a little bit at least. Right here, but yeah, Warbeast in the polls, it's clearly caused a little bit of an issue here. With this Hellborn side, Legion side.
If you play against a good Warbeast Suicide, it's one of the most frustrating things, apart from Deadlift, to play against.
Okay.
Just with the pulling, it just messes your farm up so much that you are in need of killing the Warbeast to be able to recover in the farm. Like, okay, you're gonna get less farm than you usually would, but if you get a kill, that kill will pay for all the creep kills that Warbeast messed up. So as long as Warbeast isn't dying and keep pulling, he's gonna be in great success here in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
While giving their carry probably more farm than Silhouette will get.
Yep.
Because Solstier is not dealing with any kind of pulls.
He's dealing with the blocks of Behemoth every now and then, but obviously not really as big of a concern. Soul Stealer is 24-7 right here, so again, Haxrin looking pretty good with this start. Gonna kind of start boxing out Behemoth right here, throwing out some nice little demon hands, and I assume he's able to. Yeah, the souls are added up right here. Max currently keeps it at level 2 for the time being, but gonna keep those fairly maxed out here, I'm sure, because of how the lane is set up once again. So that's some more good news there. You got Warbeast again using that battle cry, which is now level 2, to assist for everyone. Slap does end up on the Tempest, of course. And I assume he's doing pretty good in the jungle. Looks like it again. The battle cry also excelling his farm that much more. 320 gold per minute currently for Tempest here. So the GPM chart definitely suggests that Sync is actually looking pretty good right now. And maybe the biggest part of that is Riptide and how he is just dominating this middle lane. But can we really be surprised? You know, a Warbeast on top of this. We talk about Riptide, one of the strongest laners right now, 1 versus 1 at least. I guess there's not a whole lot to be surprised about here.
No. Riptide versus almost any melee hero. Riptide usually ends up winning that pretty hard, even versus ranged heroes because of the Envis. But do you see a Rev Ward from Lodestone here, so he's going to be able to spot him all times there. Sometimes you see the team with the Riptide actually pulling Riptide a Rev Ward as well to be able to counter that immediately. Not going to be this game though, and I don't think it's going to make as much of a difference since Lodestone is a melee hero. So it's kind of frustrating to lane against the Riptide. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
There's not many heroes that can compete. Maybe Deadwood in terms of last inning, but otherwise you can look into maybe. Oh, he's going to go in mid.
Yeah, they're going to try right there, but Riptide, he's going to take the Shadow Storm actually. Here comes the Undying on him. but I don't know if they're going to be able to get close enough. He turns around, he pops the Eye of the Storm, he's going right back to base. Midas was trying to maybe cut him off to the side, but that doesn't happen either. I was going to mention there was a Ward of Sight in the Congo pit right here. It actually saw a couple of heroes nearby, so you could tell Riptide was aware that something could be happening. The war ended up despawning, and shortly after that is when the Legion team went in, and yeah, they tried. Lodestone got close, but obviously it came out just a little short there in the end, and Riptide survived, so good amount of resources. They want to try to address him, which is, of course, a good move, but unfortunately coming up short there.
Yeah.
In that middle.
Trying to address the Riptide, you're like the Riptide drawing so much attention, that's going to give time for Warbeast and Soulstealer and Tempest for that matter to farm up as well. So if you're putting your time into Riptide, you better be killing him, because otherwise that's just going to not favor you at all whatsoever. And you see already like a 2k in each category lead for Sync right here, and that's just pure farm. There's no kill, no tower kills. So yeah, it's kind of showing right there.
Probus gets that bottom tower kill. Some support between Lord Salforce and Midas, but Probus will take it, and he shoots up to over 400 gold per minute now. So, again, that's expected. Silhouette is having that free farm and looking good, but Soulstealer says, I can do anything, you can do better. He takes out the top tower, and all of a sudden now he's up to 440 gold per minute. Soulstealer, a mix of not one we see lately too often, but also one that, you know, has a history of kind of building somewhat different from game to game. What do you think the build is this time around for Soulstealer?
I think most players, when playing the safe lanes, Soulstealer goes for the Null Stone, which wouldn't be too bad this game. They have the Soul Forest, gonna prevent the Undying, and there's not other, like the Head Smash from Lodestone, for example. They don't have many canceling abilities. You're gonna find them top though. They're going. Shatterstorm.
Well, this is interesting. You can see Elemental Void's gonna be using. Behemoth walked into it. They were baiting it the whole time. And now Lodestone's going to fall. I was wondering what Haxer was doing. He definitely saw that, and that was the plan. Slapped comes off from the side and completely catches the gank off right there. So down goes Lodestone. Midas, meanwhile, actually, he died at the bottom lane. He died to Masera, who ended up roaming down there on that Riptide. So a couple of big kills for Sync, and the push will continue. That was a very good setup, though, from Sync there.
Yeah, definitely. Great. I wonder if that Hextron actually baited that because he knew Tempest was close. Slapped is usually very good about telling your teammates where he actually is on the map, so that may be the reasoning. We're going to find him, though.
Yeah, they are going to catch him here. Midas assisting with that. Soulstealer trying to get the counter kill onto Lodestone. Unable to do so, though, and he will be fine, however, in the end. So nice catch, at least from the Legion side. He still held Warren team a little greedy. They're pushing that secondary tower, maybe taking a little too long to fall back, but that's again a good play by the Legion side. We do see Riptide running in. The Eye of the Storm wears off, but it doesn't matter. We see there Silhouette, she split up. She was hoping to make a getaway, but clearly unable to take place there. I don't know if she just didn't have mana for a tree grapple or what, but wasn't able to get that off either. So good catch on her, and the lead overall pretty good, and it's going to get better. Soulstealer takes out Behemoth. It looks like he used the Shockwave. Or no, he didn't actually. Never mind. He did not. So maybe he tried, but couldn't do so. And middle lane, Lodestone's also gonna fall. Sync Esports, they got the early lead here. And they ain't looking back, it feels like. Although Moira is gonna fall, but now Riptide, he could possibly get more. This is a support Midas. Again, he's pretty weak right here. Midas is gonna go down. Double tap from Masera. However, now he goes down. It is just chaos here in the middle lane, apparently. Probus did get credit for that, so. Whew. All right. At least the kill for Fresh there at the end.
Yep. That's good for Silhouette, bumping his GPM back up to after that death at bottom there, which was kind of greedy in my opinion, being all the way pushed up. Like, Silhouette is a great hero versus Riptide, but he's extremely squishy with those Ghost Marchers right now, and Riptide doesn't even need the ulti to kill him. Like, he just puts the Undertow on and the Watered Grave, and he will just drop like 50% HP. You only need 2 auto attacks from that point.
Yeah.
So having the illusion up doesn't really help either, unless you're really quick. So he definitely needs a no stone to be able to survive any kind of gank attempts. So pushing up really far is a mistake. As you see, he's not going to do the same mistake twice, being a smart player. So you see him not going for another creep wave, rotating into the jungle, which is what he should have done in the first place. So he does that. That's good for him. And a kill at top on Behemoth again.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things happening there too. They get the top kill, which obviously more assisting for Soulster there to take up Behemoth, but also again to help remind us as a spectator that Riptide is invis while he's in the water here. He was actually running over here towards the top rune. The Legion team had South Force and Lord South Force like right on this hill, and he just walked right past them. Bottled up the rune, then walked back to the middle lane, and they just couldn't do anything about it. It's for a second I had to think like, oh, why aren't they going? But that's right, he's invis. So that's just another tool, another aspect of this hero that you're constantly having to keep in mind and deal with here, and obviously to the benefit of Riptide and this Hellborn team. So South Force is actually managing decent, however.
Yeah, as expected when he gets those devils, has the maxed out more Certisma right now, so he's just going to be spamming that, but Probosk feels like he wants to take the farm instead. So now where does Lord Sarfortis go when Probosk wants to farm jungle? I don't know. He can't really farm Ancients. They're single stack though, so yeah, he can go over there, but if they were tripled, nowhere to go. Behemoth's going to deny the second tier top here.
There we go. Takes that out, at least preventing Soul Stealer from pushing that one into. So we got our middle lane, Riptide. He's going to be fine. It looks like they might have been trying to collapse onto him. I have to remind too that Midas is a main support Midas here, so yeah, only being level 5, maybe not a huge surprise here. But don't expect him to scale and take off like Midases can sometimes do. Silhouette, the Nullstone is coming up here as top lane. Soul Stealer is running away after the Shadow Storm was used here. He is going to survive. Now Lodestone, he is still in a little bit of trouble, maybe. No, he's going to be fine here with the Rock Joe. But meanwhile, Masera comes in and helps to clean up Slaska there on Behemoth. Man, Behemoth is not having a friendly game. He is now 3 deaths here. He's literally just a Homecoming Stone in his inventory. And that's it. 1,200 gold saved up. I mean, so I guess he's getting that portal key, but...
Wait, he did have boots earlier. Did he sell them? No. He did have boots.
You're right, he did. Yeah, what is going on there?
He did. I don't know. Did he actually sell his boots?
There's no way he sold it. I mean, no, maybe a mistake, but there's no logic there, obviously. Meanwhile, Element of Void, that was the illusion. Oh, boy. Welcome to Silhouette.
Okay, he didn't sell the boots. He has the Striders.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
That would have been odd. So, has him there. But yeah, they just used an Elemental Void on an Illusion Silhouette, unfortunately. Meanwhile, middle lane, Riptide. He is going to be caught here, and did he die? Yes, he did. Arcane Vortex came out just a second late. And that will be the end of Riptide. So well played there. Soul Stealer, meanwhile, using that Soul Burst to actually clear up these triple stack Ancients here. Make sure to maximize his farm, but the bottom lane, Warbeast is going to fall to the Undying in the meantime. And now the chase is going to continue a little bit, but no, they are going to be fine, the rest of them. A couple of good kills, though, coming out for Fresh right here, however.
Soulster almost dying there to Silhouette as well. He was running in as the last Dragon Master, barely... didn't even die. It had very low HP. Hackstone with a quick reaction as soon as he saw Silhouette running up those the cliff there. He popped the Energizer and ran away. I mean, it was barely getting out of there, I think. Really close to Probosk actually catching him, which would have been a huge kill. Would have definitely turned the game in their favor, actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the bottom tower, though. That's what I mean. If they got the Soulstealer kill and this bottom tower, that would have been like a 2k lead now, only for Hellborn. So, but the momentum would be in Legion's favor, so that's what I'm trying to say.
Definitely has reminded me a lot about last game, too. Again, Silhouette, in this case, it was Mage being last game for Fresh with Probosk playing it. He started to get a big lead himself, and he's starting to do that here. Now, he is going to have to get away from Riptide. Having that Nullstone is going to help him here.
He can get him. No, what is he doing?
He's trying to run. He runs into Warbeast, unfortunately. Is that an illusion now? That's the real one still. There we go. The Eye of the Storm eventually connects. And he goes down, and so does Midas. And now Lodestone's also in trouble. And most likely, no, he will live as Lord Self-Force Behemoth, a clutch timing on their part. Riptide, he needs to dodge right here. That Undying is going to help tick him down. And eventually is going to kill him most likely, as there we go. The Undying, pretty powerful. Double tap for Denver Pro, as now he's trying to chase down this Tempest here. But he might be able to, actually. He's got some good speed here with that life tap. Wow.
Yeah, he'll be able to.
Oh, hat trick for Lord Self-Force. This hero, yeah, I guess there's a reason why you can pick him up in general.
It's 4K gold.
Oh, wow. What the hell is he saving up for here?
Sheepstick.
I mean, he probably just got a lot of gold right there, to be fair, but still.
Staff?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. During all of that fighting, but I don't think it was 4K.
No.
But it was a lot still, I think. Yeah. He released the staff before he thought he would die. So he's got the staff, which means increased timing from 12 to 18 seconds on the Undying. And also, yeah, there's that. And also when the target dies, you gain regen or something, and then you can activate it like and heal yourself depending on how much life the target you kill had. I don't know, it's so much information that one ability for staff. But yeah. I know what it does, but I can't really
it's hard to
just roll it off my tongue.
We have talked about it. I don't think it was even yesterday we were really going over, because somebody had picked it up yesterday. Regroste and I were going over it, and yeah, it's so I kind of did explain it. It's just in the very, very basic form. Yeah, when you kill somebody with it, you then have that basically extra power. And we saw yesterday, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. It's like 40 attack speed and some insane amount of damage. That you get like 130 damage is what he had yesterday because of the max health of the target. So, yeah, it's a good amount there. But then you can also use that, and in the sense to then heal yourself for a massive amount, which then takes off the effects, but it also is a saving tool. So, yeah, it's just like a couple of abilities. It's a couple more to the ability there.
A lot more, I would say.
A lot more, yeah, even.
Yeah, a lot more. It's like so in depth.
So.
Yeah, it's obviously like I think the biggest thing with the ulti is that it increases from 12 to 18 seconds of Undying. That's like 50% more.
Oh, it increases the duration. I didn't even know that.
From
Okay.
12 to 18.
Jeez, the staff really does a lot. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. Well, there you go. It's even another reason why it's great. Middle lane, they're setting up here. They want to get this Riptide Lodestone. Yeah, he's kind of, maybe, kind of. Okay, you know what that was. He was out of range of the Rev 4. They didn't see him right there, but now Behemoth jumps in. Here comes the Shrunken Head. Soulstone, the Elemental Void. The Soul Burst off to the side. Not on top of them, though. That could make a little bit of a difference here. Tempest, he's holding his ground. He's not going to survive. Lord South Forest, he just used the Undying, I believe, to heal himself, but it's not enough. And now Silhouette chasing, but in the end, Soulstone, they're going to be fine. You see right there, slapped. He was even caught off guard by that Staff of the Master effect. Oh boy, we see the fight come to a conclusion. So that was a pretty crazy fight there. I mean, the Elemental Void was huge. Soul Stealer, yeah, maybe he just couldn't get there. He felt like in time, so he just decided to use it where he was. But if he was right on top, I want to say that Lord Sephoros might have died before he could get his ulti off. But point is, 3 for 3.
I think the reason why he stood so far away was because he wasn't really expecting the Tempest hole, and then he wouldn't have enough time left to where he could walk in and then release the ulti. So he just kind of did a half meh ulti, I would say.
Yeah.
But it was still good in the end, I think. But I think I don't know. It's hard to say because Soulstealer actually survived. So that being the hard carry surviving and killing a couple of heroes, it's good for them. But Legion did get some return kills. And could have gotten more had they committed to it, because you saw Probusk running back and forth a little bit, trying to, like, being a bit scared, while they, I would say, Lords of Forest was trying to man up. They could have killed the Soul Stealer at least, as well, if he was just pounding in auto attacks there.
Well, this is interesting what's going on over here. The supports are going to exchange lives for one another, but this fight, Denver Pro, you see, he still wants to make something happen. Now, he has taken some damage in the background. Behemoth follows it up. The Fisher stun coming out, but now he's in a bad spot. And the Hellborn team is going to run. Yeah, he's just like, I'll just walk down this cliff right here. And he's going to be fine in the end. So they try to chase pretty deep. You look at the inventories right now on the Hellborn side. Shrunken Head isn't finished on Soulstone, but look at Tempest, Warbeast, and Riptide. They're all trying to finish their own Shrunken Heads here as well. So, yeah, that's a priority this game. It's very clear. Now 4 heroes with it. The Undying does go through it is worth noting. It is superior magic here.
Yeah, the Shrunken. It's so hard to play against.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's the most annoying spell in the game, I think. I think deadlift's onslaught, the W, is a bit more annoying, but it only is annoying for so long during the laning phase.
Yeah.
But as like ability that lasts for the entire game, the Lord Star 4's ulti is probably the most annoying.
You can't
to play
remove
against.
it. You can't deny it. Yeah, it's just like you just kind of have to accept it, kind of deal.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I see that. It's definitely
especially with the staff.
annoying. Oh yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. I actually did the math once. Some people actually go Spell Sunder after the staff, which just kind of ticks, the Spell Sunder effect on 18 seconds as well. And I believe with my testing, at level 16, if you have a Spell Sunder, you will deal above 1k, like 1k damage.
Yeah.
Just with an ulti.
This turn down here, by the way, the element of what it caught Silhouette. What a timing there from Tempest. However, it's not going to be enough to kill her, I don't think, as Soulstealer had to get out of there. Oh, the creeps kill him in the end. Tempest does go down. Riptide and Warbeast were coming in anyways to maybe clean him up, so she dies. Great getaway from Haxerin as well. And now Lord Southforce, he does have the Undying. He's not going to use it here yet. He just pops the haste and he's on the run. Again, the Undying, we need to kill them for it to be able to have an effect here. So he's not just simply going to waste it, and he's just going to keep running. With that haste and he should be fine. But, man, the fight there from Sync again. It's Haxerin. He's not playing Chronos this game, but he's still apparently really tough to kill, even on Soulstealer.
You're going to find him. They have a ward. Riptide is close with the slow.
There you go. There's that silence. Lord Southforest can't do anything about that. Or maybe he can.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, he can. He's alive. No worries. He's just running away with that W he spams every 5 seconds.
Life tap.
Yeah.
460 move speed. That's ridiculous. He's really fast.
It's really tanky, really fast, does a lot of damage, and yeah.
Awful hero. Awful hero.
No, it's pretty good actually.
Yeah, it's
Just to build.
well, so as you're about to say, it just took a little bit of time for that to be realized, I guess. But I think that what's fascinating about that, there's been several heroes like that, where it's obviously one person starts to kind of use it over time, but his niche is so like. He's kind of had this niche of kind of being the anti-healer for a while now, but it's never really been massively tried. But to be fair, a couple of heroes like the Oogie, like the Wild Soul, kind of become maybe more popular, and so it gave that reason of, oh, maybe we should try this out, and then it made them realize, oh, wait a second, there's a lot more to this hero all of a sudden than just simply anti-heal. It kind of just took off from there. So, but yeah, I mean, there's no doubt been other heroes that have worked the same way where, one day you may think he's just not that great, and the next day it's like, all of a sudden, wait, this is actually really good. And he's another one of those. Meanwhile, rambling on here, Tempest gets caught. That's just an illusion there, but good catch by Fresh. Man, this game, this is anyone's game by a good margin here.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna look to take that mid tower when Tempest is down. He doesn't even have a buyback, so there's gonna be no chance for this Hellborn team to actually fight this. And they're gonna find Penny, I guess. Well, but I think he's gonna die in return.
Yeah, that's not good for him. Sarah pops you out of the storm, just trying to run out of here, but he's in a lot of trouble. The Undying comes out, and that should kill him in the end. It will.
So they're not going to push the tower, seeing as Soulstealer was split pushing top, pushing the creep wave heavily, so they just port back to secure that no more damage is going to come to the tower.
Ooh. So Forrest tried to catch Moira down here before he ported away, but unable to do so, of course. So Forrest, another 2,000 gold saved up. He has that Blessed Aura, but the Sheepstick well on its way to happening here. Soulstealer, again, the Firebrand, 2,300 gold saved up. The Shrunken Heads have still yet to be finished on those 3 heroes, as mentioned earlier. So, yeah, getting those is definitely that high priority here for the for Sync Esports. Oh, there you go. Right-clicks the Geometer's Bane. Does Probusk.
Yeah, and it does not dispel the Undying.
No.
You can't. It does not. So, still suffering from that problem.
Well, I was mentioning Silhouette. His teammate. But
oh, I thought you meant Soulstealer.
No, but Soulstealer will probably get it anyways. But yeah, no, still a great point to bring up. Yeah, like literally nothing will remove Undying. So Unless death, you can die, and that'll do it. Aha.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna bring up. I think there's only one good hero against that spell, and that is Mage Bane, blinking around with the magic armor.
Okay, yeah, that's
Anyway.
true. Oh, big fight here!
Gonna fight.
Sober's comes out, the element of what caught a couple. It's not going to be stopped, actually. Lodestone and South Force caught in there. Down goes South Force, down goes Lodestone. Zlap just has some really big Tempest ultimates here. Into these exchanges, definitely a big factor. Midas, he's on the chase, and he is going to be caught. Champion of Neworth is Haxer, and he gets a hat trick there, and he is 9-0-3 after that fight now. So, yeah, these Elemental Voids have been clutch. I don't think he's been, like, stopped once with his ultimates, which is huge.
That's extremely well played since Legion has 4 stunners.
What the?
Robust comes in and picks off the Moira though.
Yeah.
The Illusion swapping out immediately. Back at the bottom lane trying to split push. Swapped back again.
Jeez.
Trying to make a play. Solstice reported back. I wonder if he sees that, because then he might go for Tempest, which he might do.
Yeah, here we go. Probus, tree grapple. Yes, he has it. That's a kill on a Tempest. Very smart play by Probus there. Good heads up on his part, and obviously takes massive advantage of how the hero works. So well play with the swapping of the illusions in and out. And again, we were talking about that yesterday in the game that we had, and it's just Silhouette really is a difficult hero to play against too. Speaking of annoying hero to play against, that you can never be too sure if it's the real one or not, especially when she hits that level 3 shadow of hers. So, of course, has it now.
Definitely. And there's not really a Nullifier Blade here. You can argue Soulstitter, but I wouldn't say that he should go for a Nullifier. Nullifier is really good against Silhouette, and it's really frustrating to play Silhouette when the enemy team has Nullifier, because once you swap out, you better make sure that your illusion is close, because otherwise you're going to be sitting in that well, not going to be joining the fight again, because they're just going to delete your illusion as soon as you swap. And even if it's the real one, it's going to cancel the Nullstone, so it's actually really frustrating to play Silhouette whenever the enemy team has Nullifier Blade. Actually, you do see a Nullifier Blade on Haxton. Are you kidding? Okay.
You know,
Right.
I really think that last fight and what happened, almost like it was like a turn on for them of, okay, you know what, we got to deal with him. And as you pointed out, maybe it's not the greatest option for him here, but they just feel it's necessary. It's probably proven to be really annoying here, I'm sure, and they just simply want it. So yeah, he does get that level 2 Nullifier Blade on
It's
Soulstitter.
not too bad. It serves for another purpose in this game. Like if Midas combos one of his teammates, he can nullfire off the Midas combo. So he can potentially save a teammate as well with that item pickup.
And you got Silhouette. Silhouette is gonna clean up the Hellborn Ancients right here, as they're thinking about Kongor maybe, but there is a ward of sight here from the Hellborn side. It would spot this happening. Do they have a bound eye or anything like that? Doesn't look like it, so they're not even going to go for it, though, at least for now. They're instead just going to kind of scout around it here. See if they can manage to find something. But, yeah, Rev 4 is in general. Okay, they do have a bound eye. I was going to say they really need something. They do have a bound eye on Lodestone, so that makes sense. So Force gets caught, meanwhile. Off to the side, there's that Shrunken Head. The ulti from Solstice right on top of South Force. He pops the Undying, but he is definitely in trouble. He will get taken out. Behemoth and South Force fall. Lodestone, he's on the run. Tempest did fall as well, so he's unable to get an Elemental Void off, but it doesn't matter, it looks like. Lodestone goes down. However, Solstice is being chased by Silhouette. Silhouette picks up the kill. Here comes a big Eye of the Storm, though, from Riptide. Catches Silhouette in the meantime, but she swaps out before they can finish her off. You see Midas going to try to make the escape, even get a turn kill on a Riptide. That's not going to happen, though. And now Pandy on the run, and it looks like he actually is
Robust.
going to TP away. Probust, though, oh yeah, he's trying to catch Riptide, but he doesn't have vision of him there. And
He does, though. The ward just got killed on the big hill there.
oh,
With the Word-Beast Eye that they picked up from him. So he did have vision on him. He just didn't feel like going. Oh, okay.
plays it
Playing a bit
safe.
defensive there. Gonna go for a wing bow, which I think it's probably the best item he could have went at this point, considering there's no Savage Maces and a lot of auto attackers on the enemy team, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely is. And again, another crazy fight right there. The Shrunken Heads are happened here on the Hellborn side now. Again, the biggest thing about the last fight, I think Tempest, he didn't even get a chance to cast his ultimate, but him getting caught and killed very quickly, it's clearly a crucial tactic here for the Legion side. But now with that Shrunken Head, just confirming, yeah, they don't have any way to stop that here on this Legion side. So definitely a fault to their lineup. But to be fair, it was a final pick Tempest by Sync that gave them the shot. They could have very likely ran the Jungle War Beast, but maybe that was too appealing to pass up a Tempest who didn't have any stoppers once he got that Shrunken Head. So he's already had big ultis. He's now bound to have more.
Look for Silhouette to maybe, like, this is something I would actually consider, is to buy a Savage Mace, sit outside the ultimate, and blink somewhere where it's safe, and just try to cancel the ultimate with a Savage Mace. Maybe he will do that, but maybe he feels like he needs another defensive item, like a Frosted Skull, for example.
Yeah.
That could definitely be an option, a viable option, I would say, for Silhouette, seeing as they have no other stoppers.
Silhouette 620 gold per minute, but Soul Stealer 570, again up there as well. That's his combo here, again getting that nullifier. Blade, I hear Riptide. Yep, he's going bottom. He's going to clash into Lord Southforce and immediately try to run, but that's not going to work. Riptide's dead. And Warbeast was kind of in and out, in and out. In fact, he's going to go back in the big elemental forward. There's that Soul Burst. He got to the Wombo combo's real once again. Lodestone, however, now holding his ground, split up for Soul Stealer. Silhouette sitting on top of the Soul Stealer, though, and Soul Stealer just simply trying to kite away. Can he do it successfully? It doesn't look like it. He is going to go down, but now Silhouette, nope, she swaps out. That was the real one. Swap into the illusion, now coming back in, but coming back into not the best spot, apparently. As it's just so many illusions, though, and without Soul Stealer, they can't just simply kill them. And Silhouette is going to keep going in and pick up more kills. Look at Warbeast. He just doesn't know what to attack here. He's trying everything. And a hat trick comes out for Silhouette. Probusk is definitely the hard carry of this game for sure. And that is going to continue to be the massive issue that Sync has to deal with. Without bursting him right off the bat, that's what they're going to have to deal with, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, when the fights play out like that, you won't even need the Savage Mace. When they blow the Tempest Hole and the Soul Burst on top of I don't know, Lodestone and Sulfurish, I think it was. He just comes in right after. They only have kind of auto attacks left. And since he has that wing bow and is fairly fast with those Ghost Martyrs and Geometers movement speed, he is such a slippery snake that he just runs around and then just goes back in with the swaps, just picks his timings and just does it so well and then just kills heroes. Because every time, it's been 2 fights in a row now where Solstice has suffered from the problem that, yeah, they don't have any abilities left and then Silhouette's just running after him, auto-attacking him. So eventually just dies. So well played by Probusk, picking the right timings for the fighting right here.
Yeah. Now speaking of right timing, they're going to go for Kong or Moira. Set the illusion in. She chose not to Arcane Vortex there. She definitely had a chance. But it doesn't look like the Hellborn team is going to be interested in defending it here ultimately. And that is going to be a Congar kill. You know, not having Elemental Void, probably the biggest part of that. Token of Life, though, on Silhouette now with a 3,000 gold saved up. And I'm sure they want to continue to make a move here before that Tempest Toll is back up. And, again, they have about 50 seconds now and counting before that takes place. So at least going to put a little bit of pressure onto the base. Don't think it's going to be Rax by any means. In fact, the Hellborn team still wouldn't surprise me that they try to make a hold here without Tempest, but they're not really fully committing either, is Fresh. They're staying really spread out behind her.
Hellborn has 4 Shrunken Heads.
Yeah.
Warbeast, Tempest, Riptide, and Soulstealer has 1. So might hurt Legion's team fight a bit, seeing as they have a lot of magic damage and sheeps, for example, on Lords of Forest. Did we talk about that? He has the sheep stick?
I think we mentioned that he was making it, so yeah, but
okay.
Actually
Well, he has it now, so that's going to be good for them, but if Hellborn picks their timing with the Shrunken Head up, that's not going to be coming into play, at least. Because ideally, you want to kill heroes during your Shrunken Head, not to avoid any spells to be running away. You just want to be aggressive when you use that Shrunken Head, so
yeah.
Yeah, if they get the ideal use of the Shrunken Head, the Sheep Stick is not going to be worth it. They're going to in with the Eye of the Storm here on Riptide, searching for players.
Well, they're trying to find somebody. They're going to find somebody! Slapped comes through once again. And it is going to be enough damage to kill both pretty quickly. So they caught a couple off to the side in both Midas and Lord Salforce. Again, Elemental Void is on cooldown now, but hey, yeah, they'll take that. They get 2 picks. However, Moira is picked up.
I don't think it's worth it.
Oh.
Behemoth's going mid with
Yeah.
Chopper. No follow-up though.
He just
solo.
jumped in by himself. He's like, this is too good to pass up. And he dies right after. I mean, that seems a little silly, but...
He just wanted to be able to say after the game, I did a sick ulti. And
Yeah.
that's what he did with no follow-up. So.
Wow. Look at Silhouette, though. She backdoors the melee racks. Maybe that was the plan all along.
That's because they used the elemental hold. I was gonna say, I don't
Yeah.
think that's worth it because they don't use it on Silhouette. They haven't once elemental voided and actually killed Silhouette. He has died 3 times, but I can't recall when that is. I think some of those are during the laning phases.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of good thought here though. But seeing as the later team fights has been, they have done nothing to even remotely try to kill the Silhouette. And I really feel like that's opening up such a big game for Probusk here, and he's really taking advantage of the spells being down here from Hellborn. Really well played by him, taking out the mid-racks there.
Yep, and again, that's a prime example of what Silhouette brings to the table, too, especially with a farm like this. She will backdoor you like that as far as the racks go, and you're just going to have to find a way to deal with that. So they clearly don't have the strongest way to do so. Now, I will say, again, Warbeast ideally is going to start scaling pretty well here. Zibby is 360 gold per minute. Did get that Brutalizer. Do they have a Souls yet? No, I probably would see it on him here coming up, but that'll be nice to see, of course, for the Hellborn side at least, and their chances here. But Soul Stealer, he has 3,000 gold saved. I think you mentioned earlier about possibly the Wingbow himself.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good against the Silhouette. Seeing as that's the reason he's been dying these 2 times he's only died, that's due to Silhouette, so Wingbow, definitely a good item. You're gonna find Midas.
Once again, that is a support Midas right there. Meanwhile, the chase is kind of continuing. In fact, Silhouette jumped in. Nope, she swaps out. Soul Stealer tried to turn it. Low Stone Shadow Storm. And down goes Soul Stealer. Silhouette, the real one, though, is pretty low, but she does have a token. So you don't want to go too crazy. Meanwhile, Tempest goes down. Hack did buy back on Soul Stealer. Is he going to try to commit for this kill on a Silhouette? She may fall. She is. Now can they kill her again? Soul Burst is up, but again, it would not be max charges. Riptide goes down. And Silhouette is feeling strong here.
Tempest is down for 60 without a buyback. He has the hole in 5 seconds, but he's alive, so...
And they got Soul Stealer. Yep,
they got
Soul Stealer is dead too. Lord Salforce has his buff, by the way, for the staff as well, so he is being chased back. He may actually use it right here if he finds it necessary to heal right back up. There we go. And now Riptide is going to be turned on. Silhouette is just too damn strong. The team support too damn strong, and I think Fresh may actually be winning the game right here.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think they're actually going to probably take Mega Creeps or make them concede.
That works too. One or the other. It's a victory for Fresh. GG, well played. Even Probusk says it. No.
Yeah, Probusk actually called GG this game.
The troll's real. All right, so obviously a strong victory there for Fresh, and again, it's that was another this series. It really was a very well fought series on both sides. Definitely, I guess I shouldn't have expected to happen any other way. With that said, I mean, a split only seems right here, as both teams did play pretty well. But yeah, seeing that Silhouette at the end, the swapping in and out constantly, clearly just so much for Sync to handle. And yeah, you're right with the Tempest. He never, as beautiful as his ultimates were throughout the game, he never did get the Silhouette, especially in the later parts, and that definitely proved to be a huge issue there, and part of it. So, yeah, final thoughts.
No, I think I mentioned most that I want to say during the game, so I'd say just well played by Probusk taking advantage of the spells being on cooldown for when they used it. So Hellborn wasn't really that strong with the spells on cooldown. Auto attacks doesn't really hurt a Silhouette with a Wingbow.
Yeah.
If you don't have Savage Mace, so yeah, well played by Probusk. I think he one-man armied this game. Denver Pro had some sick plays on Lord Salforce getting an early hat trick there. When at the point before he bought the staff with 4k gold we mentioned. So he definitely had some good plays early game as well. But I think the most credit should go to Probusk in this game. I think he played phenomenal. So well played.
Yeah, definitely about the Lord Salforce real quickly too. It really, this game, if anything, was definitely a game to realize that this hero is here to stay. I mean, this is not a niche hero anymore if it was before. This is if you need a jungler, he's an option that you could go for, especially. It was his impact was definitely very real this game with that Undying and the strong start for sure. So, again, we split the series here. It's the Sync and Fresh do. Let's pull up the group standings. There we go. So this is now things to look after this series here. Again, you see 3 teams tied in that first place spot. You got Sync, Fresh, and Complexity all tied with 7 points currently. Again, obviously a lot of matches still to be played across the board here, but things are continuing to shape up pretty nicely here. A lot of even spread, and that's always good to see. Our competitive scene, it's the most even it has ever been, honestly. So that really is making it that much more entertaining, in my opinion, and can't wait to see what continues to happen throughout this week here. Now, as far as that's concerned, so again, this was a rescheduled match from tomorrow. There was also another match that was supposed to happen tomorrow. It was actually Fresh versus 2-0. However, that also got rescheduled from my understanding, and that got rescheduled to the weekend. So I guess Fresh just simply couldn't play on Tuesday is why these reschedules happen. So we will have tomorrow off now. That's the plan here at least. So essentially tomorrow became today. We will have tomorrow off, but Wednesday throughout, of course, Sunday, we'll have Heroes of New Earth coming at you. Speaking of Wednesday, it will be the first round of the playoffs